I just have to move it?
Yeah, can you see it up there? Yeah, I would. They're gonna walk in on focus down.
Are they going to block it?
Hey, there's that. There you go. Okay, hey, you can't be talking because they're gonna hear you on that. Okay, so you gotta.
class of 2018, we would like to thank each of you for joining us today to help celebrate our commencement. As we close this chapter of our lives, we are thankful to be surrounded by friends and family that have helped us get to this point. Coming into high school as freshmen, this day seemed to be an eternity away. But now that we're here, it feels like time has flown by. We used to watch the clock, wanting it to go faster, not realizing how soon high school had come to an end.
The last 4 years of high school have been leading up to this moment. We've made memories, relationships, and have accomplished many achievements, individually and as a class. We have learned a wide variety of lessons during high school, both inside and outside of the classroom. Some of these lessons will and have been forgotten, while others will stay with us forever. After today, each of us will go our separate ways and pursue different goals. No matter where we go, we will never forget that we are Goessel Bloopers. Once again, thank you all for coming to celebrate this special day with us. Welcome to the commencement of 2018.
12 years together, we have made many memories. Some memories always bring a smile to our faces, and some we will choose to forget.
From awkward kindergarten first encounters
To still awkward senior moments, we have made many memories that will stick with us forever.
when we asked our class what memories they thought were best, a few stood out, but everyone said that they wanted us to talk about memories that involved the whole class. Our class is probably one of the most dysfunctional families that I have ever met, but yet we're still a family. One of my personal favorite memories actually just happened a few weeks ago on senior trip. After room checks, when we were all supposed to be in our rooms, most of us were gathered in the girls' suite. Sorry, Mrs. Dirksen. Sitting in the living room, we had some pretty interesting conversations that had our emotions all over the place.
We went from talking about ghosts to the Illuminati and the FBI to some really deep conversations, back to conspiracy theories, then to us all laughing about crazy class memories.
At some point during the conversation, at about 4 a.m., one of us had the bright idea to go up to the 11th floor of the hotel because it would be cool.
So we all, not so quietly, snuck by the sponsor's room and crammed into the elevator and went up to the 11th floor. To our disappointment, it looked just like our hotel floor, and you're so surprised, I can tell.
Also during that time, Eden made the discovery that, guys, we have hands.
Another class favorite is actually kind of a mystery. One day in 8th grade, Jordan came to school with a whole box of cinnamon sugar Pop-Tarts that he left in his locker.
When Jordan came back from his locker, he discovered that all his Pop-Tarts had been stolen. He went around the class trying to figure out who stole his Pop-Tarts, but nobody would fess up.
Finally, in our senior year of high school, 5 years later, Jordan and his Pop-Tarts finally got justice. Emily had stolen his Pop-Tarts and handed them out to the whole class.
Many of our favorite class memories happened in elementary school. In 5th grade, you could always find our class on the playground playing wood tag. We'd be hanging off the bridge and sitting on top of the slide to make sure that we didn't get tagged. The games would get so intense that we even got banned from playing it for a few weeks. Now in 4th grade, our class's favorite activity was definitely just as intense as wood tag. We would spend our whole recess playing the invigorating computer game of Pop Tropica.
Something about running around with a large head, pretending we were spies on a reality TV show, should entertain us for hours.
The best Pop Tropica player that we were always jealous of was Benny. He beat more islands than any of us could imagine.
Benny's the real classic VP.
One memory that I don't think our class will ever forget is when Jordan set off a stink bomb in the art room. That was honestly one of the worst things that I have ever smelled in my entire life. We all ran out to the hallway to try and avoid the stench, but when the stink cleared, it was obvious who had done it. Jordan and all the other guys were standing there laughing at us girls covering our noses. In the end, Jordan was kindly escorted to Mr. Fast's office.
A few other of our favorite class memories include Rachel putting a sewing needle through her finger in 8th grade.
The many times the boys pantsed each other in 5th grade.
And Jordan breaking Mr. Hebert's window with his head.
From our awkward day of kindergarten
to our last awkward day of our senior year,
we have all grown to become the people we are today. I am proud to call you all my dysfunctional, amazing family.
We will always have the memories that we made together.
Today is the beginning of a whole new chapter of memories to come.
It's my pleasure this afternoon to introduce the graduation speaker, Mr. Brian Leitner. Mr. Leitner is a graduate of Inman High School, so he knows small schools well. After graduation from high school, he attended Tabor College where he majored in mathematics. He also holds a master's degree from Fort Hays State University. He taught 3 years at Cimarron High School and 5 years at Peabody. In 2014, Mr. Leitner came to Goessel as a mathematics teacher, athletic director, and cross-country coach. We know Mr. Leitner well for his energy, his organization, and his ability to teach mathematics, and particularly his interest and care in for students. Mr. Leitner is married to Lindsay, and together they have 2 children, Daniel and Annie. Please welcome Mr. Leitner.
Thank you, Mr. Fast. You made it. To the class of 2018, congratulations, and this is an extreme honor for me to be able to speak to you today. I pray that the words today will go before you and encourage you as you move forward from this school. 4 years ago, when I came here, you were just the wee little freshman. So I had many of you in Algebra 2 that year. I've enjoyed getting to know you that year, and we've added a couple, but as we moved on year to year, just watching you grow, watching you develop. I've got to get this up a little higher. There we go. So I appreciate that, thank you. On that first day 4 years ago, had you looked at the back of the wall in Algebra 2, I have Coach John Wooden's Pyramid of Success posted. For those of you who are not familiar with this pyramid, it is made up of 15 character traits strategically placed in key positions that are the building blocks of success. Success is not an award or an achievement or a state championship or even $1 million or a college scholarship. Only you can know if you have been truly successful, because it is a self-realization that you have done the best that you could have done in order to be the best when your best is needed. Preparation in one form or another is a necessity to be at your best when your best is needed, and we hope that we have done our job in helping prepare you for your next steps. You're about to take so that you may feel that you have done your best. At the bottom of that pyramid, there are 2 cornerstones. Every year, every student, every class I have gets to hear about these the first day of school. And they are critical to that self-realization that they have done their best. And they are industriousness, which is hard work, and enthusiasm, which is a good attitude. If you leave these walls today with nothing but a desire to learn, a willingness to work hard, and the power of a positive attitude, then you are on your way to being successful and a contributing member in your communities and families, no matter what your grades were, what athletic achievements you had, who your friends were. Graduates, as you leave here and begin to stretch those bluebird wings, do not forget that anything worthwhile will have some element of work with it. No matter how passionate you are about something, to go from good to great, you will need to put forth an effort that others are not willing to do. There will come a moment in every journey where you will have to decide whether or not you are fully committed to the process of becoming who you want to be. Hard work beats talent every time if talent doesn't work hard. And this decision will require a positive attitude in order to be successful. A positive attitude is one that tells you it's possible. It'll encourage you to keep trying, to get back up, and to find a way to make it work. A poor attitude discourages you from taking the necessary steps or the necessary risks that are required to be the best that you're capable of becoming. A poor attitude will tell you it's not worth the effort. You're not going to win, so why even try? Having enthusiasm means that you recognize when you're being distracted by negative thoughts and remind yourself that you must keep pressing on to attain that which you want to achieve. So that being said, I'm going to press on a little bit. If you're in my advanced math classes last year, you know I didn't quite get all the way to where I wanted to go. So I have a captive audience here. There are 3 topics I'm going to cover for you. But don't worry, there won't be any homework, there won't be a quiz. Only the life that waits outside that door for you. So the first topic covered in a calculus course is usually called the limit section. And limits can take 2 forms. Traditionally, when you think of a limit, you think of an idea of restriction, something that holds you back, a point that should not be passed from where we want to go. Think of a speed limit, a calorie limit. Don't eat too much chocolate. In mathematics, though, a limit conveys the idea of what happens when we approach the ceiling. What happens when we approach and we keep raising up, and keep moving up and up and up. It asks the questions of what do we need to do in order to be the best that we're capable of becoming, and what might our life look like if we made the most of every opportunity. A mathematical limit doesn't always have an ending point. It is a goal. And as the graph gets closer and closer and closer to that line, it can never actually reach it. From someone who's on the outside from far away, it appears the graph and the goal, or the limit, might be one and the same. But if you zoom in and if you look closely, you'll see there's still a gap there. There's still area to improve. There's still room for improvement. Graduates, the rest of your life will be a work in progress. You will never fully attain that goal. Set your goals and keep working towards them. And as you get close, move them up. Be careful of complacency and thinking that you are finished. This is your commencement, your beginning, and the work is now beginning. Do not worry about the end result. Focus on getting better and closer and closer and closer to those goals. And before long, it might appear to those on the outside that you've reached your goals. But remember that there's still something else to work on, another area to improve. To the outsider who is far away, it might appear you've become the best that you could possibly become. But I encourage you to zoom in, do some self-reflection, and look for those areas that you can still become better and raise your level to new heights. Take a moment right here to think about the people sitting around you, to realize the limit of impact they have had in your life over the last 12 years. The classmates that you're amongst may be in your life for quite a while yet, especially if they're your twin. And some you may never see again. Personally, I graduated with 30 students, and I think I've seen about 10 of them since our graduation 16 years ago. One of them is no longer living. Take a moment today before you leave this gym and try to connect with each one of these students. Whether you're friends with them or not, whether you hang out with them or not, they have been your classmates and they've been on this journey with you. They will have an impact on your life, and you have a connection from here on out with each and every one of them, no matter where you go. It might be the last time you talk to them. You may be thinking, oh, this won't happen to our class. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It's okay. You've walked the halls of Goessel Elementary and junior senior high with these kids. You've shared breathtaking victories and heartbreaking losses. You struggled through hard classes and you've persevered to the end, which is now the beginning. And it has been through these shared experiences that limitless memories have been made, and you will forever be connected with this class. This separation is real, and it shows us that your life from this point forward will be unlike anything you've ever experienced. The routine of high school is one that can get comfortable, and this security blanket is removed. And it will allow you to stretch yourself to limits you did not think were possible just a year ago. As you meet new people over the next few years, new doors and opportunities will present themselves, and I encourage you to stretch those limits so that not only you are impacted, but you can do some impacting of your own, of those around you. As those limits of comfort are stretched over the next several years, your life will change quite a bit. The mathematical term derivative is used to express the exact rate of change at a specific moment in time for an ever-changing entity. It is an instantaneous rate of change that would look at your life at a precise moment and tell us whether your life is having a large positive change, little positive change, no change, little negative, or large negative change in the people who are around you. But your life isn't an equation that can be mapped out precisely. Predicting what you might be doing in 5, 10, 25, or 50 years is not an exact science. But what is important here is what direction are you heading? Is your rate of change positive or negative? Every derivative moment of your life, each snapshot of change, you are the one that has to have control of how you act, how you respond, whether you use it to build you and those around you up or tear them down. You are all unique, and you will bring a specific perspective to each and every team of which you are a part of. Whether it's an engineering team, a faculty team, marketing team, union team, sports team, family team, relationship team, you will need to decide whether the changes in your life over the years will be used to point that team in a positive direction or a negative direction. Go find out what your strengths are. Begin a rate of change in the world that is around you. The graph of an exponential function isn't always steep. It slowly creeps up, and eventually it takes off and it zooms off the graph. Big changes rarely happen by themselves. They are instead brought on by making a consistent decision that you want to make something better. This could be your quality of life, a free throw, a race time, a report card. It's important not to let the depth of any challenging situation scare you away from making a ripple in the pond of life. A big splash isn't always needed, but someone must be willing to step forward and at least stir the waters. And this takes enthusiasm and a good attitude. And as you make those little changes and the water is stirred, your ripples will carry further than you could have imagined, and you will have a positive impact on those around you. The third item covers this idea of the size of impact that you can have on those around you. It's called integration. In mathematics, integration has several forms, but at its basis is the idea of finding the area in between the line of a graph and the x-axis. This space is what I'll call the area of influence, and it can range from a small area to large or even negative. Even though we are far from a large school here at Goessel, all of you have had an impact on this school and this community over the past 4 years. You've been involved with activities and athletics. You've worked mostly hard on your academics, developed relationships both with your peers and your teachers. It didn't matter that we were a small school. You still have the opportunity to make a difference in this school and in this community through your commitment and dedication to your time spent here. We have been your area of impact over the last 4 years, and you have been ours. And now we send you out and encourage you not to let the location of your next destination affect your willingness to make a positive change. As you go your separate ways, remember that each one of you has a purpose and a job to do at the place you are going. Not one job or school is more important than the other, because you have a specific purpose for what you will be doing, and it's up to you to find that purpose. Look inward for comparison, not outward. Be the best that you are possible of becoming. Then you will be best suited to help those who are around you. To the class of 2018, it is only through industriousness and enthusiasm that you will be able to have the positive impact on your family, community, and work that you are called to have. You are called not just to live for yourself, but to find a way to contribute positively wherever the life road takes you. Success is rarely handed out all at once, but it's earned through a continuous, constant effort of staying on track and not being deterred by the limits that we place on ourselves or by others. Make an impact or ripple in the world by first making a positive change within yourself and the place that you're living. Be the catalyst that affects change for the better in your job, family, and community. By being willing to make those 3 things better, your impact will grow beyond any limits that you thought were holding you back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leitner, for your words of wisdom and inspiration. Seniors, congratulations on your many outstanding accomplishments and achieving this important milestone in your development. Best wishes to you for your continued success throughout your future. Board of Education, Dr. Fast, faculty, staff, parents, and guests. Having met the requirements set forth by the USD 411 Board of Education, the state of Kansas, and the staff of Goessel High School, it is my privilege to present to you the Goessel High School graduating class of 2018. Mr. Ben Schrod, USD 411 Board of Education member, will now share a few remarks on behalf of the board, and he and Mr. Kelly Luton will present graduates with their diplomas.
Class of 2018, on behalf of the USD 411 Board of Education, it is my honor and privilege to congratulate you on your accomplishment. We wish you the best of luck to each and every one as you continue your dreams and pursue the next steps in your life. Congratulations again. It survived. Leah Faith Booten. Dasha Elizabeth Brandt. Kara Ann Burkholder. Jordan Isaiah Griffin. Abigail Michelle Hannon. Brittany Nicole Hebert. Eden Judith Ann Hebert. Lauren Rose Hebert. Destiny Brooke Lee Johnson. Rachel Ann Lyons. Emily Louise Meyer. Madeline Nicole Meyer. Benjamin Mark Meyer. Jenna Rose Nightingale. Julia Ann Nightingale. Braden Kyle Roby. Jace Allen Schmidt. Nathaniel Keith Schmucker. Megan Frances Symington. Carson Matthew Stirk.
When the school year began, none of us realized how many laughs we would experience in such a short period of time. 11 of us have been eating lunch together for the past 13 years, and along the way we lost and gained many classmates and friends that have become a large part of our lives. As a class, we have experienced both challenging and rewarding moments. Our last sporting events, our last school dances, our last tests, and our last day of school. We all have very different personalities, but the thing that remains the same is where we came from. As we head off onto our new adventures, we know that the unwavering support from the Goessel community will always be present. We are thankful that we will always be able to call Goessel our home.
Each of you here today have impacted our lives in one way or another, and it's not likely we'd be in this position if it weren't for your support and encouragement. We would like to thank Mr. Bowden, the Board of Education, Mr. Fass, and all the teachers and staff for creating an environment where we are able to learn and grow as students and as young adults. The time you have invested in every one of us is greatly appreciated, and everything we have learned from you will surely help us in the next part of our lives. Thank you to our parents for your love, support, and encouragement. We know that you are a large part in our accomplishments. To the friends that we have gotten close to and are leaving behind, thank you for all the memories and experiences we shared together. As we move on to the next chapter of our lives, we are thankful for a community that has been supportive and present. On behalf of the graduating class of 2018, thank you and farewell.